Retirement is now 3 years out. What should I be doing and what do I need to know? Hi, I'm Dave Lopez, founder and managing member with ILG Financial.
And my name's Chase Lopez, advisor at ILG Financial. And today is another episode in our video series of Retire Your Way with ILG Financial, where we talk all things retirement planning. So, Dave, we're 3 years out from retirement.
Before you do that,
Oh yeah, you're right.
like and subscribe. You can
That's
do
right.
it right below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's right. You want to be alerted for all of our future videos in the future.
You bet. So this is kind of part two. We were talking about 5 years out from retirement. Our last video we covered 5 years out and 4 years out.
That's right. That's right.
Now we want to cover 3 years out all the way up to retirement. So
That's right.
yeah, 3 years out, what do we need to know?
Yeah, so really, once you're 3 years out from retirement, you really want to start thinking about what is my day-to-day in retirement going to look like? You know, we've spent, the last 20, 30 years of our lives working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And now that time is going to have to be filled up with something, right? Some people, they say, hey, I'm going to work part-time. We have some clients that, work for the Major League Baseball team, and they're an usher, right? They
Yes.
really enjoy it.
Yes.
So do you want to work part-time? Do you want to do some sort of charity work, right? Whether that be with your church, or everyone has their own thing, but do you want to do some volunteering?
Yeah, just a hobby.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
My
Maybe you're a
grandfather
golfer.
built the model trains. He had a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
room filled with model trains.
Yeah.
So is it a hobby you want to do? What's your day going to look like? Because we can, as a fiduciary advisory firm, if we were working with you, we can put $1 just to that. What's this going to cost?
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Or if it's something like if you're ushering at a baseball park, it may not be costing you anything, right?
Yeah.
The money you make may be covering the travel and all the other stuff, so it's kind of a break even.
Sure.
Right.
Or you might have a hobby like golfing, and that can certainly be an expensive hobby, right? So we
Yes.
definitely want to put a price tag on that, and then we can work that into your financial plan.
So get a hold of that, and if you watched our previous video, in years 4 and 5, we were already talking about getting an idea of where you might want to live, or if you want to remodel your home.
Right.
3 years out, remember, it is always easier to refinance while you're working.
That's a great
so
point, Dave.
you should really be honing in. If you're going to refurbish the house or put in a pool to lure the grandkids in or something like that, you want to be doing it while you're still working. It's much easier to requalify for a loan and pull money out, whether you're fixing the kitchen up or whatever it is. So we want to start to nail that down and start to implement that strategy.
Boy, that's a great point, Dave, because when you're applying for a mortgage, one of the biggest things that they're looking for is reoccurring income, right?
That's
so
right.
that's when you're working, you're getting that paycheck, so it's much easier to qualify for that loan as opposed to when you're retired and the paycheck stops.
That's
right?
it. So let's do 2 years out.
All right, so we're 2 years out, right?
This
Really, at this point,
Yes.
we have some great tax planning opportunities as we approach 2 years out from retirement. Whether that be while you're still working, there may be some opportunities there.
Yep.
But also, you want to set the stage for, in retirement, if you have some tax planning opportunities in retirement, you want to start setting the stage for how are we going to implement those, moving forward once we enter retirement.
Yeah, think of this as a ticking clock or just this a river running down, and you want to know what's coming.
That's right.
So that
That's
you
right.
don't miss it. Because when you retire, there's this window of 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's a little different for everyone, where you may be able to take advantage of some really unique tax advantages.
Right.
But you want to be prepared to immediately start taking advantage of those when you can. If you miss it, it's missed opportunity that you may never get back. Things like Roth conversions.
Right,
Are they
right.
right for you? They're not right for everyone. But if your income drops considerably, the day your income drops, we might be able to take advantage of some Roth conversions. We mentioned in the earlier video that if you still need health insurance because you're not quite 65, you might be able to position your finances in years 60 to 65 so your income reported is so low that you either get insurance at no cost through the Affordable Care Act or at a very low cost because of the subsidies they offer. And there's other tax advantages you can take advantage of, but you have to be ready You have to have an advisory team in place that can help you implement them. Now's the time to do it in year 2.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that we try to implore on a lot of people is these are very difficult strategies for you to implement, as an individual, right? So really it's very imperative for you to get a financial professional that's on your side, that's looking at all of these things like a tax plan and how you can implement that tax plan in retirement so that you don't miss, to your point, any opportunities, or you don't do anything that's going to trigger any sort of penalty or anything like that.
It is complicated, and you want someone who's done it before and knows what they're doing to help walk you through the process. Last thing for year 2, revisit all your numbers. You were doing that in year 4 or 5. You should have a much clearer idea of your budget, what you're expecting in retirement, what the income, the money's been growing for 2 or 3 more years. How much are we going to be taking from 401ks and IRAs? How much is coming from pensions and Social Security and rental income? We should be getting a very clear picture of what the income's going to look like, and we should have a much clearer picture now of what your budget is going to look like. So we want to start to nail that down.
That's exactly right. We don't want to leave anything to chance, right? That's one of the things that we talk to all of our clients about is there's no reason to leave any of these things to chance when there are strategies that you can implement to better serve your goals.
And we keep beating this horse, but again, that's why you need to get with a financial professional, a fiduciary who specializes in retirement planning, because they've done it hundreds of times. You're doing it one time.
All right, so we were 2 years out. Now we're right on the precipice. Right?
Final year.
We're the final year. We're about to retire. We're 12 months away. What should we be thinking at that point? To your point, we should, and I know this sounds a little repetitive, but we want to continue to watch those expenses, right? Those expenses, those income streams. We want to constantly be monitoring that, going up to retirement to make sure that we're not missing anything. And there's also, you alluded to this earlier, Dave, there's a few age checkpoints that we want to make sure.
Key dates.
Key dates. That's a great way to put it.
Key dates.
So you want to jump into those key dates there?
Yeah, so here's the ones I would put on the checklist for you. 59 and a half. That's when you can access your 401k and your IRAs without a penalty.
That's right.
Just an asterisk here. Did I say that right? Asterisk. I have a hard time saying that. If you need to access your IRA right, or your 401ks before 59 and a half and you don't want to pay a penalty, there are some subtleties. There are some little workarounds that you can do it. We're not going to get into those this time, maybe another video. If you want to hear that, put it in the comments, right? But there are some. But during the planning with your financial professional, you can work out if you have to get them. But at 59 and a half, you can take money out if you need it without any kind of restrictions.
That's right.
The next number is, I would suggest, Chase, is 62. Why is that?
That's right. So 62 is the first year that you can start drawing Social Security. Now, don't misunderstand us. We're not saying that you should take Social Security at 62, but it's your first opportunity. So one of the things that you want to talk with your financial professional, your financial advisor about is what is the most optimal way to turn on Social Security. This ties directly back into a previous topic that we talked about, which is the tax situation, right? We may want to delay Social Security to implement some tax plan, right?
You're reiterating this point. It's complicated. There's so many moving pieces. But 62, you should already be talking to your financial professional about, should I be taking it now or should we be delaying? You got a year to put this together.
That's right.
Right. The next date I would suggest, Chase, is 65, and that's because 65 is when Medicare kicks in.
Right.
For most of us, we will be using Medicare and maybe switching to what's called a Medicare supplement policy. But if you retire before 65, you need to know, how am I going to cover insurance until Medicare kicks in? So is your employer going to let you stay on the health insurance even while you're retired?
Right.
If not, you can take advantage of COBRA, which is you stay on the employer's plan, but not only do you pay your portion, but you also pay your employer the part he was subsidizing for you. And you can also go through the Affordable Care Act, right? And get a plan for the years riding right up to age 65. And again, there's some planning strategies you might want to do if that's the case, to try to qualify for as many subsidies by just shifting. You've got some great opportunities early in retirement to shift money around to have more control on what your reportable income is and take advantage of subsidies. And we help folks with that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think that was a great checklist for folks. remember, we're talking 5 years out from retirement. What are the things that you need to be thinking about as you approach this new stage of your life, right? And I think one of the things that we really made apparent here was you definitely want to get some help, right? It's a lot of things to think about. So look for a fiduciary investment advisory firm to kind of walk you through all of the things that we talked about here today.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go
See
ahead,
ya.
hit the like and subscribe button down below. Don't want to forget
Like
that, Dave.
and subscribe.
Just so you can see those next videos coming out, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.